Peace. Today is Sunday, the 19th, making today's math.
Knowledge born, all being born to knowledge cipher, all being born in knowledge.
You know, it just warms the cockles of my heart to hear you say that. Make knowledge born on this day. Take that knowledge through the cipher and create more knowledge. Peace to the gods and earths. Peace. Welcome back to the Yanadameen Godcast. I'm Lord Jamar.
And I'm Digga.
Yeah, we got my man in the house with us today. My man Rage. Okay, Rage Cage. Okay. He's getting ready to be my resident fact checker and researcher.
Because apparently we got it fucked up.
We be in here
fucking up,
not doing the knowledge,
not
to
being born
shit.
to born.
Yeah, we didn't have it all born to born according to them. So yeah, my man Rage is here. Not that we have to do this, right? But he's just a real cerebral type brother anyway. You know what I mean? So, you know, I work with this brother in a lot of different areas. You know, he does website work and, you know what I mean? He helps solicit advertising and all this type of shit. So he wears many hats over here at the Yanadameen Godcast. And he's taken, his own time to come here under his own dime because we're not getting paid to do that. That's why I shout out to all my super chat people. Oh, we fucking love y'all. And all people that donate at cash.me/$Yanadameen, patreon.com/Yanadameen, and Yanadameen.com/support. We appreciate all of y'all because, again, we don't get paid to do this, and we doing this out of the love. So
right on.
For motherfuckers.
With that being said,
for motherfuckers to have the nerve and the unmitigated gall to fucking try to call us out on some bullshit.
You feeling froggy today, God? I see.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little.
I see you got your arms, got your chest out. Y'all got him charged up. Get him, God.
You see, yeah. Okay. First of all, let's address some shit because I saw yesterday. You got on Twitter. And you was kind of like going at some motherfuckers.
Well, yesterday being last week. If you're watching this now, this would have been
last week.
This would have been last week in regards to the first segment of last week's episode. In regards
where we talked about, pardon me, we spoke on LeBron James, and we also brought up Michael Jordan. Now, you had a lot of people saying, you need to do your research. Michael Jordan never invested in prisons. You got the wrong Michael Jordan. First of all, motherfuckers, let the record reflect, and I will have my man Harold go to the videotape. In the motherfucking segment, I said that Michael Jordan was rumored to had invested in private prisons. Puts LeBron now leaps and bounds above, like, let's say, a Jordan. Okay? Because there's been rumors that your man Jordan actually has invested in private prisons. And he's never denied it. That's it. So, did I state that?
Well, now the comments say that then there was a story that came out after that stating that that was the wrong Jordan. That in fact there was another Michael Jordan,
right?
A white Michael Jordan that is, I guess, a benefactor of the prison system. So basically, the wrong Michael Jordan altogether, as per the comments.
Right now. Was I continuing to perpetuate a rumor that was out there about him? Absolutely. Shit.
Like, and if we're wrong, we have no problem with coming back on the show and correcting an error.
Absolutely
but let me say something to your credit. Because while, okay, there may be a whole nother Michael Jordan person, not the number 23 that we know and love, it is a fact that Air Jordans, are one of 2 or maybe 3 pairs of sneakers available to prisoners, to inmates in jail. Now, Michael Jordan, the ball player, may not be specifically donating to prisons, but he is profiting from that commissary system. And we know that is the biggest racket of sending folks to jail. So...
And not just sending folks, disproportionately sending Black and Latino males mostly to jail, okay? So that's what's really fucked about the prison system in this country. But now, if y'all want to be, right, research Rudy and all this motherfucking bullshit, right, then you're going to have to do it across the board, okay? Whether it's shit that you like or not, okay? Now, I don't know how many weeks ago it was, but I know you and I reported on a story where Trump was locking up the babies in these detention centers. And we actually showed a picture of some kids on the floor with tinfoil blankets. Well, lo and behold, if you did your research, all you had to do was Google and find out that that picture was taken in 2014 during the Obama administration.
I didn't know that.
Yes, I didn't know that either, but I've come to find that out.
In your research?
In my research. Right.
Since we researching.
Right, since we researching every fucking thing now. You know. So you so quick to like get on a motherfucker in one area, but in another area where it suits you. You see what I'm saying? Nobody wanted to research that. Why? Because it fits our narrative of Trump and how we see him and all of that. And it doesn't fit our narrative of Obama. Now, is Trump's conditions the same as those pictures that we saw? Yes. They could be worse for all I'm saying. But it still did happen on your man Obama's watch. So
you sure that ain't fake news though? You sure that ain't some Trump plant trying to pin some shit on Obama?
Fake news has existed since this white man has started walking the planet. Okay? Since they started saying Jesus was a white man and Aristotle and all these other motherfuckers are the fathers of mathematics and science. That's all fake news. You understand what I'm saying? That's all fake news. So fake news is nothing new. Listen, there's always this. There could be all kind of psyops out here. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, counterintelligence. All I'm saying is, first of all the answers don't lie in Google.
Oh my God, that was a whole nother argument I was having. Like,
if you think
okay,
all the answers lie in Google, you're fucking sadly mistaken. I'm just saying, if you're gonna research it all, motherfuckers. Okay. There was also some talk about about Charlamagne.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so people were mad at me thinking that I was tap dancing around the Charlamagne
No, they was mad at me too for that.
Now, see, here's my thing. We never intended to even discuss that. That was something that was a question that was brought up on live. So we attempted to address it. I did not know about, I'm not going to say I didn't hear about it, but I didn't know the facts. Like, I didn't do the research. Like,
nor did I.
I'm just really not like going in depth into like the everyday gossip I hear about celebrities. So I didn't have all the facts about the Charlamagne story. I only report.
It was actually our friends here at the Super Chat that were like,
that bought it
what's
up.
up with Charlamagne? What's up with Charlamagne?
So we attempted to discuss it, and then folks got mad at us because we couldn't discuss it in depth or in full detail.
And that we didn't roast this motherfucker and rip him a new asshole.
Exactly. Now, if Charlamagne is guilty of rape, then fuck him.
Exactly.
If these allegations are true, then fuck him. I am not co-signing anybody that takes advantage of underage girls. Period. Point blank.
Underage anybody. Listen, when
girls, boys,
when the allegations about Africa Bambaataa came out, okay, which is a person that, you know, we were around in the beginning of our career
with B Stinger.
Okay, with B Stinger. Okay, that's how I knew he was lying.
One of the forefathers of hip hop.
Now I was quick to get on. I said, if those allegations are true, then fuck Bambaataa, and that's some bullshit, and I'm not fucking, you know what I mean? I'm not defending him for none of that shit. Now, if I could do that for him, and I really know that, you think I wouldn't get on Charlamagne, a motherfucker that I don't even really know? Like, I don't give a mother flying fuck. They act like, oh, you be more raw on Vlad. No. Again, we didn't know the whole circumstance.
I didn't know the whole story. I only saw the conversation that he had on the Breakfast Club with his wife. I didn't even know the details of the young girl.
From what I understand, there was some scumbaggery that might have went on here. There was some pleading guilty type of shit by this guy for like doing some funny shit to a young girl, like, you know what I mean, back in, you know, however old this guy may have been in his 20s, but the girl was maybe like 15 or some shit like that. But I don't think he ever. I don't.
Like, again, you don't know the
actual
details.
I don't fully care. Like, first of all, I care if something happened to a young sister, okay? Because, of course, I have a daughter, so I don't want. You know what I mean? I don't want anything to happen to any of our children. I love all of our children. And if any of you fucking scumbags are out here fucking molesting and touching our children, you need to get your fucking dicks and cut off and pussies ripped out or whatever the fuck.
Oh, total sidebar. They're trying to make pedophilia a sexual orientation. But that's a whole nother story. We ain't even going to bring that up right now.
We might need to talk about, I don't know if it's going to be in this episode, but see... And the only way you can get to that is by normalizing the homosexual shit. It's a step-by-step process. That's how we've got there.
I'm not gonna put those two in the same category.
You have to. They've already done it. Look at the poster for it. It's a rainbow with a man and a fucking little child.
But then we gotta put it all. Then group sex, threesomes, all that shit is abnormal.
Yep,
it
is. It is.
We can't
talk about it all.
Things.
Yes, there's a lot of sexual deviation that goes on, and that's right. And we got to talk about it all, and we got to be honest about it. Okay. So, but that might have to be a whole next.
That's a whole nother show. I am not. I am not about to. Yeah. I am not about to equate.
You have
homosexuality with pedophilia.
No.
I'm not doing that.
It's one step to the next, and I know you're gonna have people that say, "That's right, Rah Digga. You better defend that crazy ass Lord Jamar from what the fuck he gay bashing or whatever the fuck he said." Listen. I'm going to show you.
It's not about defending him. That's just. I'm going to show you. Separate.
No, it's not. Piece. That's what's so crazy is it's not. It fucking actually goes from one thing to the next. Like, you have to go degree by degree. You have to chip away in order to get to where the fuck you really want to be. So that it's just like we start with just depraved heterosexual sex. Then we get to homosexual sex. Then we get to pedophilia. Then we go to bestiality. Is the last place they're trying to get it to.
Sex across the board is going to draw the line on pedophilia. That's not you can't even. Everything else is debatable. You can't play with that.
Listen, you can't play with none of it. You can't play with none of it. You shouldn't. Sexual deviation is. It's a mental illness. I said it. And we're going to have to talk about this at another time. Okay. I also want to take issue real quick You don't have to. Yeah, you don't have to agree.
Hey.
You don't have to agree. But I'll show and prove anyway. I also take issue with some of the comments. Like, I don't feel that we're in a time where people don't know how to have passionate debates without feeling that like there's some sort of beef going on or disrespect. Like I have the utmost.
Everybody keeps saying, "Oh, you cutting off, you being disrespectful."
Peace to Freddie Sharkey. She said, "Please talk about the new lesbian Batgirl." Holy shit, there's a lesbian Batgirl. Batwoman TV series in works at the CW with groundbreaking lesbian superhero lead from Caroline Dries and Greg Berlanti. Batgirl? I used to love Batgirl back in the days. Like, I used to look forward to, because that's a boom, you got to wait till a certain part to see if Batgirl is going to be in the cartoon. Right. And when she was in that episode, you'd be like, oh, shit, Batgirl going to be on this motherfucker. And ain't no way Batgirl was a lesbian. Now you trying to tell me Batgirl's a lesbian? We're going to have to get to that in a second. Thank you, Freddie Sharkey.
Maybe she was in the closet back then.
But let me just say, I have the utmost respect for you, Queen. And I would never want to consciously disrespect you.
I don't pay you no mind.
Exactly.
I don't pay Jamar no mind.
And if you ever need to, my skin is thick enough to be like, nigga, shut the fuck up. Okay? Just like these kind people paid their money to tell me to shut the fuck up. Am I mad at them? No. I love you. Thank you.
No, what I will say is sometimes in the process of you trying to get your point across, you don't listen.
You're right.
Because we sat for 10 minutes debating about Eminem being a GOAT, and neither one of us said that. I'm like, I had to stop and be like, wait a minute, what are we talking about here? I never said he was a GOAT.
Right. Well, here's...
See, being a lyrical great to me and being a GOAT are two totally separate
that's
things.
Some other dumb shit that they said.
Remember when
about the radio.
Remember I had an Impact Legacy list and I had a Spitters list. Always two totally separate things for me, because my GOAT list is different from my spitter list. Like, we're talking, when I think, to me, my personal GOATs and greats and things like that has nothing to do with radio and sales and all that. I'm talking Jay Electronica. I'm talking Pharoah Monch. I'm talking Fonte. Like, to me, these people are GOATs in my eye. You know, the Rock Marcy's, the what have you. Like, that's not,
right. And,
you know.
And I'm going to say that those people are super dope.
Super dope. But
when it comes to my criteria, there's a certain criteria that I have, and maybe one day we're gonna have to really go over the checklist of just, and this is me personally as someone who's watched this hip hop. See, again,
but that's not that's not a personal thing.
You were
a universal GOAT.
You were still in your father's nutsack when I was listening to some of this hip hop. So that being said,
you got that. You old as fuck.
I'm old as fuck.
You take that.
We got the old timey music and all that for me. That. So
age bias.
Yeah, exactly. But that being said, as someone who's watched this shit actually grow from its infancy until now, there's certain themes that you will see in the people that we look at as at the greatest of each era.
Here.
Okay?
But are you confusing what I'm saying as a lyrical great versus GOAT? Because I have a lyrical great list that's like this.
Right.
And I have a GOAT list that's like this.
Okay.
So you could possibly be hearing me talk about lyrical greatness and be confusing that with me calling these people
Is Eminem lyrically
GOATs.
great? Yes. Is he on any...
And that's all I was saying.
I've been said that, though.
So why were we debating? Because you don't listen.
No.
Because you don't listen. You weren't listening to me.
Here's my main point, right?
Here's my main point.
No, I was thinking about this earlier. Here's my main point about Eminem, right? What I'm trying to say is they're trying to put him at a GOAT status by circumventing the black community.
Church.
Because
I don't disagree with that.
Because when we truly analyze it, we, not just me, but we as black people as a whole, don't really fuck with Eminem like that. And if we
tell them why you're really mad.
And if we don't fuck with him, that's what I'm saying.
You got
I did the
you
Stevie J.
Did you see them lips? Like, God damn. I'm like, okay.
Don't really fuck with Eminem like that.
I don't want no fucking smoke.
I'm just saying, listen. Because remember we was talking about they don't play him in clubs, but they might play him in taverns and shit, and people are laughing when I say taverns, right? Because what I'm trying to say is they're not playing where black people are at,
and that's part of, and that's not just your GOAT criteria. That is GOAT, like greatest of all time. That is greatest of all time criteria. You cannot
circumvent the black community and be the GOAT. Period. That's my point. And it's not about Eminem. Let them tomorrow act like G-Eazy is the new Eminem, and my boot is going to be all on G-Eazy's neck. Matter of fact, I'm shining up a pair for him right now. We're going to go to break and come back. I love you, Queen.
I love you too, dog.
Peace. It's the absence of all confusion. United we stand, divided we fall. Two fingers together is the real peace sign, y'all. Brand Nubian PEACE gear. Hoodies. T-shirts. Snapbacks. Available at hoodg.com. Get yours today.
Peace. Welcome back to the Yanadameen Godcast. Lord Jamar.
Digga.
I got my man, the resident researcher, Rage, over here, doing his damn thing.
Shout
my man, Alex
out to
over there.
on the 1 and 2s over there.
Come on, keeping the sound all crispy and shit. My man, Harold behind the cameras and shit.
Yeah.
And on the editing, doing the damn thing. This is how we do over here.
I love Harold. He lets me win everything.
Yeah, it's all
they
good.
trying to say the editor is biased. He lets me win the debates.
It's all good. I'm gonna give y'all that now. As long as
I'm low key flashing them leg over
get
here.
Something real. I didn't even get to see that. We're gonna cut to that camera right now. Anyway, don't forget you got $100 up for doing the butt or some sort of twerk.
Shit. Oh God, I'm supposed to be twerking for $100.
It was offered
before this show is over.
It was offered. I'm just saying. So
he gonna have to PayPal me that shit directly.
Hey, well, tell him you PayPal.
Hey,
nigga, hey.
My Cash App is bars for bread. The number 4.
And I sent you that bread actually. Anyway, so this, I don't know, a week or so ago, there was a interview on The Breakfast Club with former, I guess, CEO of Def Jam and all of this, and current, he's YouTube worldwide or some shit. Lyor Cohen had a fucking interview on The Breakfast Club, okay, that a lot of fucking people are talking about. Did you get to see it?
Bits and pieces.
Okay. Well, I actually did the research for us. Okay. And I sat down and watched this episode. Now, in full disclosure, back in the day when Brand Nubian first got on, our first manager that we ever had was Rush. We got down with Russell Simmons. At that time, it was like, a fucking honor to even these motherfuckers to want to fuck with you. So when you get down with Rush at that time, you found out that Russell didn't do any of the day-to-day shit, that it was this white man, Lyor Cohen. So we ended up, you know what I mean? Fucking with Lyor. Like, Lyor was the dude. He was our manager, basically, at that time. Russell was the manager in name, but the one actually doing the work was Lyor. Then after a while, it became Chris Lighty. Rest in peace. But I say all this to say I know Lyor well. Okay? So yeah. So we see he does an interview with The Breakfast Club. And what are they talking about? They're talking about at one point they were talking about well, hang on. First of all, he's bragging in the interview about when he's at the golf course, right? Mm-hmm. He's there with doctors and lawyers, and they ask him, how do you get here? Would you make your money off of? And I tell him, sucka MCs.
Oh, wow.
I thought that was a little telling right there. We're just going to hold on to that for a second, though. But he's very proud that he made his money off of sucka MCs.
And was there a part of the interview where I guess they asked him about like signing people that are
is what I was
promoting the drug use?
This is what I was about to get to.
Felons and things like
right.
that.
So they were saying, what do you go for? Talent or issues? Like basically they said if an artist has talent and he could sell records, but he has certain personal issues, or they might talk about some shit that you don't agree with, what do you go with? You know what I mean? Like, and basically he says, I go with the talent. Like, it doesn't matter what issues that they might have, like, or what they talk about, like. And at some point he's like, listen, I got a family to feed. I got employees I got to pay and all this type of shit.
Well, if I may clarify this.
Go ahead.
To avoid any of the naysay commentators. What he actually said was if the artist has a particular like hindrance, he doesn't mess with them. Like, for instance, he says lean is liquid heroin. So if they're on that, he would take issue about that.
He would just call them an addict. Not that he will not sign them, though. He'll still fucking sign them.
Right.
He'll still put them out. And if they rhyme about lean, he'll put that out.
Right.
But what he was trying to say was, I will call them a drug addict to their face.
Right.
Okay. But that's not going to stop you from putting a motherfucker out who's on lean.
Right.
He was there during DMX's fucking heyday.
Right, yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And yet, what did he do for DMX? Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, he might have said, oh, I try to get him help and all of that, but what did he really do? You know what I mean? And he's also accused of, like, breaking up Rockefeller and all of that, right? So when he's asked about that...
Dame's been calling him a culture vulture forever.
Listen, when he was asked about that, right? He's going to say, now this was very telling. He said, who's Dame Dash?
Yeah.
He said, I don't even know him.
Yeah, he could have took a higher road.
I don't even know him. Like, to me, that was the epitome
that was fucked up.
of a white man trying to rewrite history.
Damn.
As they always do. Let's just take a SAR and a Set out the picture, and I'm gonna give you Zeus and fucking Hera, one of these Greek goddesses and shit. We're just gonna erase who's a SAR? That's what they said. Mm-hmm. Who the fuck is a SAR? Who's a Set? That's what Plato and Socrates and all of these, plagiaristic motherfuckers did to our culture. Since they've come on the scene 6,000 or so years ago. And continue to do shit like this. So to say, who is Dame Dash, when Dame got pictures on his fucking Instagram of you in a fucking headlock.
Who's Dame Dash? You brought him up. I don't even know him. 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 I don't even know him.
Care to revise your statement, sir?
What? Do you want to change your bullshit story, sir?
And you gonna act like you don't know this man when he made you plenty of money. Okay? Like, that was very telling. And now, it's funny, like...
Let me just, be devil's advocate. Was he doing that to say to them, like, I don't feel like it, to just avoid a whole Dame Dash conversation altogether? Because
yes,
we know he's being he's being sarcastic. We know
he
knows who
Dame
Dame
is. But you see the deeper ramifications of that, of what I'm talking about, of how he was trying to do that,
trying to minimize, trying to diminish his
capacity. But at the same time, you're almost trying to just erase him from history. You're trying to erase this because at the end of the day, if the powers that be have their way, they'll just keep Jay-Z up there. And you'll never hear about Dame Dash again. Like there would be no Jay-Z without a Dame Dash.
And who's the,
like?
And you see, DeHaven is doing a documentary now. I guess about the the early Rockefeller days. He's been very vocal about DeHaven.
Oh,
I heard.
He's been very vocal about his role. Basically, he's saying, he was the plug that.
Wait, is that you talking about Klein? Is that it?
No, DeHaven apparently is from like the street times.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, well,
right.
there's also Calvin Klein is one of the dudes from Red Hook that, you know what I mean, was running with Jay-Z, and he was the man at that time and all this type of shit, and he might even did some time, I
mean, that's part of the street history, but no, it just made me think because he's been doing some. I think he has a Kickstarter now. He's doing a documentary, I guess, of the of the early stages of Rockefeller. He's basically saying there wouldn't be a Rockefeller without me. Like you can't even talk about Jay-Z or Dame Dash without talking about me. So
now listen. So now here's where, for me,
it's just a fun
for
fact.
me, the interview here was the real kicker that and I don't feel like a lot of people really peeped this, but when they pressed him more about, now you look, some people would say you're a culture vulture and all that.
I feel like shit.
He started saying some shit about, or with artists that have issues. He said, well, how about the time when Professor Griff went nuts and started talking about the Jewish people? And I had all these people telling me to fucking get rid of Public Enemy and all this type of shit. He said, I didn't do that. What did I do? I took Chuck D to the Holocaust Museum.
Yeah.
Damn, I need to see this.
Yeah.
So
I'm feeling like 85 right now.
So
I'm not born right now. I didn't see this.
That whole thing was so telling to me, and let me explain why. Now, out of all the things that go on in hip hop, right, that are talked about in hip hop, just like your man Eric Benet, this kind of ties in where he's talking about artists that talk about selling drugs and killing each other and, pimping sisters and all of this type of shit are basically, agents for this white insanity. I'm not going to call it white supremacy because there's no such thing. It's called white insanity, and we need to get in the habit of calling it that. Anyway, so there's plenty of that in rap, right? But for him, for this Jewish man, the time in rap when a motherfucker went nuts is when Professor Griff spoke on, the Jewish people, and whatever he was saying at the time was like basically common knowledge. Like he wasn't saying nothing crazy or nothing like, you know what I mean? Like this was shit that Farrakhan and everybody was saying at the time. But somehow some reporter reported Griff saying something about the Jews and jewelry and all this other shit. And basically that led to Public Enemy breaking up. Now, why that? Like, out of all the shit that's negative against black people, why use that Jewish thing as an example of when something went awry in hip hop? Also, in Professor Griff's rebuttal, which I didn't fully see, but I was reported excerpts of it, he basically said, okay, well, if you were really trying to help, then why did you take Chuck to the fucking museum and not me? I'm the one that said it. Because you didn't really care about fucking trying to educate anybody. You were trying to divide and conquer. Peace to the gods from Charlotte. Keep telling the truth. That's right. Peace to all in. Yeah. So you weren't really trying to educate nothing. That was a divide and conquer move. And let me just say, upon reflection, I believe this guy had a hand in breaking up Brand Nubian early. Like, there was a lot of people in Pooh Bah's ear at that time, and I bet you he was one of them. And you know what? People call him Lyor Cohen, right? Like Dame Dash has called him that. But you know who the first person I ever heard call him that?
Oh.
Charlie Brown from the Leaders of the New School. I remember back in the days, a long time ago, he was like, yo, fuck Lyor. He's a fucking liar. That's why his name is Lyor. And I was like, oh, yo, that's kind of deep. He was like, yo, he's a fucking liar. He da-da-da-da-da. I don't know what the fucking exactly the beef was at the time, but I remember he was calling him Lyor Cohen.
Eric B and Rakim.
Huh? Oh.
Yeah, Eric B and Rakim.
He might have got broke.
Nah, bro.
Yo. You see what I'm saying? If we look at it, he might have been a pattern of divide and conquer with this guy across time in hip hop. Shit, if you even look now, shit, Run and DMC ain't really rocking like that. You know what I mean? Like some other shit going on. Yeah. I'm just And as far as the culture vulture shit is concerned, like, Dame is right. Like, he says he'll put out these records, like, with artists that got issues and shit, right? Or artists that might say some shit he don't agree with. But how about if rappers came out and started, like, Holocaust bashing, or like let's say there was a Jewish group that talked about killing Jews. Like, would you promote that? Would you sign that group as a Jewish man? Hell no, he wouldn't. Hell no, he wouldn't. Because when Griff said whatever benign thing he said about the Jews, you ran and took Chuck to the Holocaust Museum trying to, get some understanding, supposedly.
But that always happens. Like, that's like the first, that's like blackball 101.
Like, where are the
Mel Gibson, right? When he they immediately tried to ostracize him from the film industry when he went on an anti-Semitic rant.
Just like Ice Cube said, you let a Jew break up my crew. No Vaseline. Like, where other than, like, in movies do you see, like, white people profiting from white on white violence? Like, it doesn't exist in music. It doesn't exist in their music. Like, when white boys rap, they don't rap about killing other white boys. They rap about dumb shit, drugs, partying, money. But they don't rap about, yo, I'll shoot that other cracker in his fucking face. And, you know what I mean? I'll leave that cracker 6 feet deep. You don't hear that type of shit. Now, they might say some misogynistic shit, but it's not to the point how we be doing it. And all I'm saying is, if there was some,
but remember,
some Hasidic Jew motherfuckers doing this, would Lyor be ready to put that out?
But just
and my answer is no.
Just remember, in terms of like hip hop and black people, like a lot of our hip hop origins was based on like hip hop, the rap portion of it, you know, a lot of it was to squash borough beefs and things like that. Like the DJs bought
Right.
and
the break dancing was a form of almost
so
fighting.
like playing, you know, the playing the dozen, the snapping on each other, the battle rapping, like that
was to stop the violence.
Right. So, but it came out in the music. So while you may necessarily be in a song, you know, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna shoot you. You know, when the camera say cut.
When did that actually start happening, though? Because I'm gonna tell you, in the early days of hip hop, in the early, like, I'm talking Cold Crush era, yeah, we was talking about cocaine and dust and shit like that, but motherfuckers wasn't really talking about gunplay. Nobody was talking about shooting each other. Motherfuckers was talking about going to the party and riding
back then. Like this,
right.
This is more of the
what
gun
I'm
era,
saying is
niggas can't fight.
Niggas wasn't even rhyming about fighting. Niggas wasn't rhyming about shooting niggas and shit like that. Like, I'm trying to think, when did I first start hearing that?
Well, back then, I guess
historically, Schoolie D is considered the first hip hop gangster.
But did he talk about it?
Yeah, he did.
What did he say in the song that specifically, like, yo, I'll shoot that motherfucker, or niggas get popped on my block? Like, who's the first one to really say that? We're gonna have to take a forensic look at that, because seriously,
a forensic look.
Yeah, because I'm telling you, if you really look at early hip hop, motherfuckers wasn't talking about even stabbing people.
I just looked to the left and saw NWA.
I'm gonna say it was before that.
It was definitely before NWA.
I almost want to say BDP.
Well, you mentioned PSK stands for Parkside Killers.
I know what it stands for, but they didn't say Parkside Killers on the song. Right. They just said PSK is making that dream. They didn't say Parkside Killers. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. But only when we got to Criminal Minded, that's when it kind of got blatant. If I keep it real,
it got blatant, but he was still preaching the gospel. I think what happened was.
KRS has been all over the place in his thought pattern.
I know.
We can talk about that
but
too.
I just think over time, as like this society itself started removing like morals and religion, like it became less about preaching the gospel and more, you know, they'll fuck you up, but had a message. Like NWA, fuck the police, shoot you, kill you, but had a message.
They wasn't the first ones to do it though. They just made it really popular.
But over time, the message got removed from the music, and then it just became I'll fuck you up, I'll kill you.
Criminal Minded was a narrative. It was a
I wanna actually, we need to look into that, because I think that's kind of interesting. So yeah, actually I think that is a good. So in this whole rebuttal about gangsta music and all this type of shit, and are you an agent of white supremacy? Fat Joe had said, listen, music is music. I think I want to talk a little bit about that when we come back. And just go a little, actually state exactly what Eric Benet said before we get even deeper. But it kind of melted into what we were just talking about. That's why we're talking about it now. But let's get into that when we come back.
White males have always mistreated all females and taught black males and encouraged black males to mistreat black females. All right? So females all over the planet, all of the females all over the planet have been grossly, horrendously mistreated and are being mistreated even as we speak. I mean, that mistreatment is not isolated and whatnot. It's just people just mention it every now and then. But it's 24/7. It goes with the system of government that we have, the world government. It is okay to mistreat females, whether you're white or non-white, except if you're non-white, you better be very careful about mistreating a white female, all right? Now you can get into serious trouble. But for a white male to mistreat a white female, that's considered okay among the white supremacists themselves. I mean, that's almost like a handshake deal.
Wow.
And they have always done that. All right? At the same time, they will glorify them, all right, when it comes to other people. But when in the house themselves, they will kick that black female around, that white female around. White men will do that.
Yes,
People
sir.
who have worked in white people's houses have found that out.
Mm-hmm.
Particularly back in the old days when
Yes,
you
sir.
had a lot of maids.
Yes, sir.
And sometimes the maid has to come to the rescue of the lady of the house, you might say,
Wow.
and say, you know, Mr. So-and-so, you should talk to her like that. I mean, she didn't do nothing. She didn't mean no harm and all like that. I mean, you know, the black maid has to intervene in order to help the white female out.
Yes.
You know, or something. But then, on the other hand, the white female is also considering herself a part of the establishment, like in the slave plantation. The white female was abused by the white male, but if the black servant, the black female, who is the maid in the house, even talked back to the lady of the house. Now, wait a minute. All right, who's in charge here?
Okay.
And say, well, Miss Alice, I stood up for you yesterday when Mr. George was talking to you in an abusive fashion, and now you're talking to me in an abusive fashion. Say, yeah, but you're the maid.
Wow.
You are a Negro. You are a subordinate.
Yes.
You have nothing to do with the royal family's arguments.
Yes.
Don't get it mixed up, Hattie.
Mm.
All right? Don't get it mixed up. You are still a subordinate in our house. I mean, you know, hey, it's one thing, in the system of white supremacy, the white supremacists always let black people know, I'm not only in charge of you.
Yes.
In charge of everything that you claim is yours, including what you say is your woman.
Yeah.
Negro boy.
Mm.
You know? You say you got a wife, you ain't got nothing except what I say you have.
Mm.
You don't have a wife, you don't have children, you don't have anything. Why? Because I got you.
Wow.
All right?
Yeah.
And don't you ever forget it. I can have your wife in bed with me anytime I want to, and your daughters by your wife.
Mm.
And you know it, and I know it, but you turn a blind eye to it because you know you better.
Yeah.
All right? And that's always been. And that's true in 2017 all over the world.
Yes, sir.
Peace. It's the absence of all confusion. United we stand, divided we fall. Two fingers together is the real peace sign, y'all. Brand Nubian PEACE gear. Hoodies. T-shirts. Snapbacks. Available at hoodg.com. Get yours today.
All right, peace. Welcome back to the Yanadameen Godcast. I'm Lord Jamar.
I'm Digga.
Back with more conversation. I got my resident researcher Rage up in the house. My sound man extraordinaire Alex in the place to be. And my man Harold behind the motherfucking cameras and on the editing shit. That's how we do, you know what I'm saying? Digga.
What up, though?
What's good out here?
Ain't nothing, man. It's hot than a motherfucker these days.
Ain't it?
I don't even be knowing what to do. I'm like, I don't be knowing what to wear. I don't be knowing what to do with my hair. I don't be knowing.
Yo.
I just.
That's why I had to. I had to go wife beater this week because, first of all, I wasn't sure if the AC was gonna be back on in here.
Right.
But it is. Thank you to the management, because it was hot as some wolf pussy up in this motherfucker. Yeah.
My aunt used that term when I was 12 years old, and it has scarred me for life.
Hey, wolf pussy, from what I understand, is hot.
It has scarred me for life.
Just like Cola's polar bear pussy or some shit. You see what I'm saying? There's different,
different connotations,
different contrasts on the spectrum.
I just want to know who in here knows what wolf pussy looks
That's what I was thinking.
and smells like.
Who's the first dude, like, or girl?
That got some wolf pussy? Well, I bet you they was white.
Who's the guy? I hate this guy.
I'm just saying, like, niggas don't do
Wait.
shit like that.
Okay, no. Who's the guy? Who's the guy that got some pussy? I was about to say wolf and pussy at the same time.
Your pussy just is a little bit small, you know what I'm saying? Just pew, pew, pew.
Pussy.
Some woosy.
Pussy.
They got some woosy.
Who got some pussy and decided that it emulated a wolf? That's what I want to know. I want to know that guy.
Or just knew the different temperatures. like he got into
Like-
a woman and said, "Woo, this is hot as wolf pussy."
Like, what's the okay?
But how did you know the temperature?
What's the difference
of a
between wolf pussy and bison pussy? Elk
Why am I
pussy.
looking this up? Is the question?
Somebody's gonna be like 32 degrees.
Elk pussy.
I'd say about 32 degrees.
What's
is
going
the
on with
difference.
venison? What is the temperature of venison pussy? Can you elaborate? All y'all researchers out there.
So, do me a favor. Pull up this.
Shit.
There was a Eric Benet had said some shit about hip hop and all of that. Yeah, what the fuck did he say? Rap artists. If you're if all you rap about is killing black people, degrading black women, abusing drugs, materialization, living a low life, you are not an artist. You are a black face for white supremacy, which I call white insanity. You are being used to help destroy your own people. You are being used to destroy your own people. So Fat Joe responded, yes. What do we feel about this? Because
I have immense respect for Fat Joe. I disagree with that. I don't think music is music. I think music is a big part of molding minds, and words have big power and big influence over people's minds.
absolutely.
And I think if you're hearing something often enough, thoughts, words become things. Like, they manifest themselves into situations. And I don't think it's coincidence that, the scholastic level of society as a whole is decreasing along with the content and context of music nowadays. Like, I think all of that is very parallel. I think the short attention spans of the youngins nowadays are reflecting in the music that they make.
Well, here's one of the things, Fat Joe, he said, really? An industry that's created tens of thousands of black millionaires and billionaires and helped lift communities out of poverty while creating a global industry and following that transcends culture, color, and situations you call being an agent of white supremacy? Is that what he said? Wrong. What, DJ? I don't know what the hell that says. I'm curious as to who exactly he has in mind saying this. Nas, Rick Ross, Meek Mill, Jay-Z,
These
Drake,
are Fat
who?
Joe's words?
Very, very vague, probably for a reason. Now Fat Joe is chiming in. This is his opinion. I view music as entertainment, man. You have different rappers for different messages, he told TMZ. You're going...
Wait, who said the first part?
You're going live your life behind a rap song. You're a fool. You're the fool. Yeah, who said that first part?
This DJ wrote that part.
Oh, okay, because that DJ was totally off with that.
Yeah.
The rap industry has not created tens of thousands of millionaires and black billionaires. It has lifted no communities out of poverty. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, name me one community that hip hop has lifted out of poverty. Like, the whole community.
That's that get in the bag mentality. That's that you're great based on your record sales mentality.
I
don't subscribe to that.
Yeah, like, that's crazy. Like even when I think, the Master P or somebody buy a whole projects or some shit like that, like, do you think that lifted the community out of poverty? No, that just made Master P own the projects. Like, it's still poor motherfuckers that live there doing the same shit they doing. You know what I mean? Trying to get by, like.
Well, I guess they're trying to say taking people out of the hood and giving them.
Listen, those are anecdotal stories of individuals. This person had said lifted whole things out of poverty. I'm just glad Fat Joe didn't say that. Okay. So, right. But when he said what he say? Music is music or some shit like that.
I'm about to say Chicago just had 15 motherfuckers get killed last weekend. They ain't lifted out of shit.
Main part of the TMZ is called the shit Joe said.
Yeah, that's his opinion. I view music as entertainment. I mean, see, music isn't just entertainment. Music is
hip hop. Is not just entertainment.
Hip hop is not just entertainment. And music is a form of therapy. It's a form of
expression.
Words have power. Right. Not just on the mind, but on the body as well. Like, we don't understand that this shit actually, like, can either do positive things to your cells or negative things to your cells, depending on what you're listening to, because music is vibrations, and we all are made up of vibrations. So you have to be careful of the vibrations you invite into your vibration.
Like, it's not a coincidence that teen suicide is up, as all of these suicide kill yourself anthems are
right.
Becoming more and more popular.
Suicide, if you ever gonna let go. I'm sad and low. Like, come on, like.
And if you're sad already, and you're taking some drug, and you're under the influence, and you listen to some shit like that, like, yeah.
You just might fucking jump out a window or cut your fucking wrist or do some fucking dumb shit. First of all, the stuff that I like, I'm in agreement with a lot of shit that Eric Benet said it. Now, why is he saying it? I don't know. You see what I'm saying? We can debate about that all
Maybe
day.
It was a conversation already being had, and it's what I know, with all interviews, they'll take a piece of something you said and turn that into another headline. So it might seem out of the blue, but maybe he was just giving an interview in general and was just asked, how do you feel about the state of music today?
I mean, and I don't disagree, with that. Like, a lot of people just act like, just let things be. Like it's just music, or it's just, clothing, or it's just, it's not just nothing. Like everything has an impact. Everything has a ramification behind it. And a lot of times we act like things are so benign or things are so haphazard in life. Like, oh, well, it just happened like that. Like, he just happened to be that. Nah. There's a reason behind all of this shit. And we have to start looking at this type of shit. Like,
I agree.
Why are people rhyming about, why are we being entertained by shit that is not good for us? You know what I mean? Like, why is that entertaining to us?
I think it depends on the mood you're in. Like, you may possibly, like, say you're leaving work, you're pissed off with a boss or a coworker, and you hear some fuck you music, and it gives you a woosah in that moment. Or you're happy and you listening to club music. Like, I think it just depends on the mood that you're in, because I don't want to, at the same time, I don't want to ostracize the rappers that do, necessarily talk that shit, because there are a lot. I mean, I'm guilty. There are a lot of rappers I like that talk that shit. I talk that shit sometimes. I don't want to put them in they're just bad for the, they're just bad for the community pile. I'm going to say a lot of it is also a reflection of what we're dealing with. Like, it may, to other people, it may sound like, oh, it's perpetuating violence and things like that. But hey, this is what we're dealing with within our confinement. So sometimes just letting it out and on record is as you say, is therapeutic. It also, other people can relate. It's not so much that we're necessarily entertained by it, but we can relate to it. Like, I can relate to other rappers talking about pissy project hallway stairs and things of that nature. Like, that shit we can relate to. Are we necessarily entertained by it or, take pride in it? Not necessarily, but we can relate.
Right. Well, see, what I've always said is, like, you can only speak on what you know. Like if you don't have the knowledge of some shit, how can you speak on it? Like, sometimes you looking for a positive message from a motherfucker that don't know nothing but negative. Right. So how can you get a positive message from this person? You see what I'm saying? Like, the ones that should be teaching are the ones that are qualified to teach. We're not all qualified to teach. Now, some of these people are only qualified to speak on the reality that they see in their everyday life. You understand what I'm saying? I think it's more of the powers that be that push more of that narrative
and
up to the forefront.
If I may.
Then...
And that's because I think there's always been that yin and yang in hip hop. There's always been the positive. There's always been the gutter. And we had a nice balance of it. Once upon a time, there was that balance.
And somewhere it got super imbalanced. What do you want to say, Ray?
Yeah, I wanted to comment, like, we can't separate that dynamic between the narrator, which a lot of time what the rapper serves as, sort of just narrating his environment, versus the people with the pick and choose power as to what gets heard.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, the broadcasters got to take responsibility because they create like an echo chamber. Right. In the sense of, like, people who might have started narrating now, like, well, this is what they playing. This will get you lit. Well, I got to talk about that more. Then that kind of turns the dynamic, starts feeding itself.
And when you talk about that, see, and that is where I take issue with the program directors. Like, I'm never taking issue with the artist. Okay, this motherfucker ignorant. That motherfucker ignorant. Hey, newsflash, we surrounded by ignorance. Right. At the end of the day, when this motherfuckers our age that are trying to tell me that this ignorance is lit, and those would be the first motherfuckers that will call us washed up and old heads hating, and why y'all hating on the new generation? It be motherfuckers our age saying that shit. Like, those are the people that I take issue with. I don't have issue with a Chief Keef. It's a chop. I don't have an issue with a Young Thug. Pew, pew, pew. Right. I have an issue with the motherfucker that will say, oh, this is where it's at. This is where it's at. Get your old brand Nubian old head ass out of here.
Well, fuck you.
Like, those are the motherfuckers that I have issue with, because 9 times out of 10, those people are from our generation, and they know better, and they trying to hold on to their job that they done had for 10, 15, 20 years or whatever, and they holding on by a thread, and they know better. They know what music was then versus what it is now, and they're the ones steering that fucking out with the old, in with the new narrative.
And that's some old divide and conquer bullshit anyway. Like, you know what I mean? They're trying to create this real... Shit, that could be a show in itself, too. Just this whole, generational gap that I feel in hip-hop didn't really exist for a long time. Like hip-hop for a while was the one unifying music for everyone. Like, it was bringing white people and black people, older, younger.
Music really is the universal language of love.
But no. But hip-hop is the one music, like, think about this now. Hip-hop is the one music that not just brought all kind of people together, but it can also bring all type of musics together. Like, hip-hop is the one music where you can have a beat that's like a classical beat, or you can sample a country beat, rock and roll. You could take literally any other music and infuse it into hip hop. You cannot do that to all musics and have it still sound good. Okay? And it was a time where records that I liked was the same records that my son liked. But somewhere, not too long ago, very recently, they started making some sort of divergence where people from our era don't want to fuck with it now because they're fucking it up. Like you see, and they're trying to create this, well, you're just old and you don't like it because you're old.
I'm telling you, that is media and radio personalities doing that, because there's always been the old head music, the young head music, like that has even always been the case. But what started happening over time was the media, the radio personalities, they started diminishing our capacity. You know where I saw the biggest example of that was the whole Little Kim, Nicki Minaj thing. Like, to me, that was like the biggest example of what I'm talking about. Like, at some point, everybody just started saying, why should, I don't know if it was just because everybody was enamored with the booty or whatever the case may be. But to me, like, in that instance is where I really saw, like, wow. So at what point does having time in become a negative? Right. Like, to me, like, that's really when I started seeing that. Well, on the girl front, as far as the male front, I guess maybe once the sound started shifting, like once it started moving down south, I felt like a lot of the New Yorkers felt like, well, wait, that's not real hip hop. That's just noise. So I think that's where it happened on the male front. And then as far as the female front, because there really wasn't too much female activity going on prior to Nicki. So I feel like when that happened, like, that's when I really saw it on the female front. And then it was just like, fuck the OGs altogether. Like, we just old, bitter, trying to get back in the game, washed up. Like, that's
y'all mad because y'all ain't making the kind of money that these kids is making now and all this other shit.
And now the kids the kids started echoing that. But then you know what's happening now? Now they're in these fucking deals and they're getting all fucked out. They're getting in these, landing in these fuck shit situations.
Like Rich the Kid screaming, fuck Lyor Cohen.
Right.
Don't sign with 300. They the worst.
But look, you're right. Like, all y'all had to do was listen to the OGs and shit. Now they want to cry, oh, y'all dropped the ball. Y'all didn't teach us anything. Like, motherfucker, we was trying to tell y'all shit.
Well, see, that's part of it too, though. It's like, they're trying to disconnect them from the wisdom that comes with having knowledge. You see? And they don't want us to give it to the understanding to that new generation. You see? Because they want them to be butt naked, in the cold, defenseless, and so they can go in and be the bloodsuckers of these fucking young, hungry motherfuckers who, you know what I mean? Just want to get to the bag, Right. So
the moral of the story, new artists, listen to us. Listen to us.
Like, we not hating on you. Our disagreement doesn't mean that we hate you.
No, we want to go to sleep we want to retire comfortably and know that the next generation got it. Like,
we want to see y'all do certain things the right way. And whether you like it or not, there is a right and wrong way to do certain shit. Like, we can't just act like everything's haphazard and, who's to say what's right and wrong? Like, shut the fuck up with all this fucking liberal bullshit. Like, who's to say what's right and wrong? The motherfuckers with the knowledge are the ones to say that.
That's how I feel about people telling me, pop, there's a music, the pop, hip hop, what's the difference? Somebody said to me on Twitter, you still on your annoying hip hop is, pop ain't hip hop bullshit. I'm like, I'm always on that. I'm never getting off of that. Please believe it.
Listen, and that's why we on the hashtag Lyrics Matter. Matter of fact, go get your Lyrics Matter shit.
Hey!
Okay? Go get your motherfucking All Being Born to Born shirts, okay, that we just released.
See, you got the real mathematics. You got it. I need.
See, we can't. we can't play around
we
too
can't
much
play
with
it.
the, yeah, with
I need
the math.
I need a guy to be born to born.
Now you're gonna have gods coming up to you like, you see what I'm saying? I'm trying
playing
to protect
with the math, sis.
Trying to protect you, sis.
I can't have a hashtag gotta be born to born shit.
Just a hashtag all being born. It's that's what you're saying. All being born to born.
I like gotta be born to born. I like gotta be born.
Gotta be born.
Gotta be born to born.
We might make you a special gotta be born to born joint. But yeah, man, it's just, you know.
Got born to born?
Like, yeah, right, like got milk, got born to born.
Like, no, goddamn it, you're taking it too far.
Yo. Well, listen, man, we've come to the end. Hang on, please, y'all. Study the God Box, David Banner. Oh, my God. It's like the current Bible playbook on how to address and view this ish. Thank you, Freddie Sharkey. Oh, come on. David Banner's that dude. Fun fact, if you say you let Jew break up my crew 3 times, Lyor Cohen shuts down your YouTube live stream.
Shut up. You stupid. You stupid.
That's like the
Candyman and shit.
He's the Candyman of the motherfucking YouTube and shit. Oh, man. Well, listen.
Guess what?
What's that?
You ain't cut me off this week. Are we working towards a kinder, gentler, a kinder, gentler Lord Jamar?
No, we're not. First of all, I'm just passionate, like, you know what I mean. And when my voice raises, or if I'm talking over, it's never out of disrespect or anger. Like I
don't pay you no mind.
Yeah, it's all in love, and yeah, and just, you know. This is just how I've been learned to build. You know what I mean? Like I've been in with some heated motherfuckers where this is how you have to talk sometimes. You understand what I'm saying? Or you will never be heard. So
I don't take
it for what it is.
Everybody's so scared I'm gonna run away.
Yeah, and I'm like, knock it off. Like, thank you. Like, she's built for. Trust me, you are my perfect partner for this. Like, no one, like, yeah. And so y'all chill.
I'm never submitting. I'm just letting you be strong and wrong.
You know, I'm gonna let you eat that one.
Strong and wrong.
Marcus Fields for $2 said, when you gonna kick that flat earth shit? You know what?
Shit.
He's the first one time that I even said those words out loud on here. I'm going to tell y'all right now, since y'all want to talk about research and all this type of shit, right? I want y'all, because we're going to do an episode, not so much on flat earth, because really the burden of proof is on y'all. I want y'all to really research.
Wait, the burden of proof is on us to prove that the earth is round?
Yes, it is.
We been round. Bitch, we been down. Bitch, no, okay. You got to prove it's flat.
Listen, I'm going to show you certain things. But yeah, the burden of proof really is because you're going to find out that you really don't know as much as you think you know about gravity, space, earth, all of this type of shit. We're going to get to this episode. I've been in contact with my man. Shout out to Brother Sanchez. Ooh, Brother Sanchez is going to be on the Yanadameen Godcast. We have secured him. Yes, we have. So you motherfuckers get ready for this episode. I'm not sure exactly when. I'm going to say maybe the next 3 weeks we might get that one in. Okay, so all I'm saying is do your research now. Learn about corpuscular rays, which come from the sun, and how to trace them back to their source.
Shouts out Leland Melvin, a.k.a. Astronaut Bay.
We gonna get his ass on here.
He coming. He can't wait.
Oh, and he's gonna get a new asshole chewed. I hope he's ready to shit from maybe his elbow, because that's where his fucking asshole's gonna be after we chew him a new one.
Well, let me tell you something, Mean Gene.
But anyway, listen. Once again, another great week of conversation.
Brother Numsi.
Yes, Sister Numsi. For the Yanadameen Godcast, I am Lord Jamar.
And I'm Digga Digga.
Peace.
It's the absence of all confusion. United we stand, divided we fall. 2 fingers together is the real peace sign, y'all. Brand Nubian Peace gear. Hoodies. T-shirts. Snapbacks. Available at hoodg.com. Get yours today.